Christian Marty is holding the throttles forward when the thump comes through the airframe. It is 4:43 p.m. He has been flying Concordes for 6 years. His hand does not move. The jet is at 300 kilometers per hour. 300. That number matters, because 4 minutes earlier a Continental Airlines DC-10 lifted off this same runway and left something behind. A strip of titanium alloy, 43 centimeters long. This is the story of a decision made in a hangar in Houston, with the wrong piece of metal and the margin between supersonic flight and fire that fit inside the length of a school ruler. The strip fell from Continental Airlines Flight 55, a DC-10 bound for Newark. Maintenance records showed the part was installed 6 days earlier at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston. It was a wear strip, a spacer inside the thrust reverser, cowling on the number 1 engine. The specification called for aluminum alloy. The mechanic used titanium alloy instead. Titanium is harder and does not deform under heat, but it does not belong on that engine. The installation was signed off and filed. Nobody in Houston knew the part was wrong, and nobody at Charles de Gaulle knew it had fallen onto runway 26 right. The Concorde was the fastest passenger aircraft ever built, Mach 2.04, twice the speed of sound. Cruising altitude 60,000 feet. Air France Flight 4590 carried 100 passengers and 9 crew, including German tourists bound for a cruise. The fuel load was 95 tons, with an additional 500 kilograms of baggage beyond planned weight. The wind was from the southwest, a tailwind, not ideal but within limits. Captain Marty taxied to runway 26, right at 4:42 p.m., and advanced the throttles. The Concorde accelerated normally. At 4:43 p.m. and 13 seconds, the left main landing gear rolled over the titanium strip. The tire burst. It was pressurized to 232 psi. The burst released energy equivalent to a hand grenade. A 4-kilogram chunk of rubber was thrown upward at 140 meters per second and struck the underside of the left wing, rupturing tank number 5. Jet fuel poured out at 1 ton per second. At 4:43 and 25 seconds, the tower controller saw flames and radioed the Concorde. The call came 12 seconds too late. Christian Marty heard the call. The Concorde was at 198 knots, 1 knot below V1, the decision speed. But the decision had already been made by physics. The aircraft was too heavy and the runway too short. Aborting would send them off the end at 150 knots into the perimeter fence. Marty kept the throttles forward and rotated. At 4:43 and 30 seconds, the fuel streaming from the wing ignited. A 60-meter trail of flame extended behind the left wing. Engine number 2 was inside that flame, its thrust falling. The Concorde climbed barely, needing 4 engines at this weight. It had 3.5. Marty retracted the landing gear. The door closed over the fire, containing it inside the wing structure and intensifying the heat. At 4:43 and 56 seconds, engine number 2 failed completely. The thrust asymmetry was severe. The Concorde yawed left. Marty applied full right rudder without success. The airspeed was 200 knots. The Concorde needed 220 knots to stay airborne at this weight. Air traffic control cleared them to land at Le Bourget, 9 kilometers north. Marty turned toward it. Banking increased drag and the airspeed dropped. At 4:44 and 15 seconds, the fire burned through the wing structure and reached the flight control hydraulics. The elevons on the left wing failed. The aircraft pitched nose down. At 4:44 and 31 seconds, the Concorde struck the ground at a 40-degree angle at 350 knots. All 109 people on board died. 4 people on the ground also died. The French Bureau of Enquiry recovered the titanium strip within hours. 43 centimeters long, 16 millimeters wide, 1.4 millimeters thick. The metallurgy matched the DC-10 thrust reverser specification. Continental Airlines confirmed the part was non-standard. The correct part was aluminum. The investigation reconstructed the sequence. The strip punctured the tire. Debris ruptured the fuel tank. Fuel ignited. The engine failed. The Concorde lost thrust and control. The entire chain lasted 90 seconds, but started 6 days earlier in Houston, with a mechanic's decision to install the wrong part. That decision killed 113 people. If the mechanic had installed the correct aluminum part, the Concorde lands in New York. Aluminum deforms and would not puncture a tire at 300 kilometers per hour. 100 passengers disembark at JFK. The aircraft returns to Paris and flies 3 more years until fleet retirement. But a mechanic used titanium instead. The difference between those outcomes fits inside 43 centimeters. The investigation identified additional factors. The Concorde was 810 kilograms over its maximum structural takeoff weight. The fuel tanks had no rupture protection. The tires had no reinforcement against debris, and the crew had no procedure for engine fire during takeoff after V1. But none mattered without the strip. Remove the strip, and the systemic weaknesses remain hidden for 3 more years until fleet retirement. Instead, investigators had a catastrophic failure that forced changes. Air France grounded the Concorde fleet immediately. British Airways followed. During 15 months of grounding, engineers installed Kevlar lining in fuel tanks, replaced original tires with Michelin near-zero growth radials, with reinforced steel and stronger sidewalls, upgraded landing gear bay wiring, and added a fire suppression system. Modifications cost $17 million per aircraft. The Concorde returned in November 2001, but public confidence was gone. Bookings fell. The aircraft was no longer profitable. On April 10, 2003, Air France announced retirement. British Airways followed 1 day later. The final Concorde flight departed New York on October 24, 2003. Supersonic passenger aviation ended that day and has not returned. Continental Airlines and the mechanic were charged with involuntary manslaughter in French court. The trial began in 2010 and lasted 4 months. Continental was found guilty and fined €200,000 with €1.3 million owed to Air France. The mechanic was acquitted. Continental's conviction was appealed and overturned in 2012, but the strip remained. 43 centimeters of non-standard, unapproved titanium alloy on runway 26, right at 4:43 p.m. on July 25, 2000. Regulations changed. The FAA issued an airworthiness directive requiring enhanced fuel tank protection on all large transport aircraft. CASA followed with similar rules. Runway inspections increased. Airports implemented stricter foreign object debris protocols. Non-standard parts now require explicit engineering approval and traceability. These changes apply to every commercial aircraft flying today, because 113 people died when a 43-centimeter strip of titanium landed on a runway in front of the fastest passenger jet ever built. A mechanic in Houston installed a part. The part was 43 centimeters long. It fell onto a runway in Paris. 4 minutes later, the fastest passenger jet in history rolled over it at 300 kilometers per hour. 90 seconds after that, 113 people were dead, and supersonic passenger flight was finished. The distance between those two outcomes was the length of a school ruler.